Hey everybody, Aaron Bishop here with another Bishop's Blurb. In Genesis 4, we read the story of Cain and Abel. In this short narrative, the two brothers both bring a sacrifice to God. Cain, the older brother and a man who works the field, he brings of his produce that he produced in the field to God as an offering. Abel, a tender of the sheep, he brings of what he had as an offering to God. Now, when people approach this story, there's a whole lot of speculation as to what's going on, and for many, it's the absence of a blood sacrifice in Cain's that is offensive to God. But I disagree. You see, throughout the entire narrative, the word that's translated as offering is the word mincha. And if we turn to Leviticus 2, we read of the mincha sacrifice. Leviticus 2 verse 1, when anyone brings a grain offering, mincha, as an offering to the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour. He shall pour oil on it and put frankincense on it. A mincha sacrifice is technically a grain sacrifice. The issue at play here is not the type of sacrifice. Cain was well within the limits of offering grain as part of a mincha sacrifice. If anything, it was Abel who was off base by offering an animal as a mincha sacrifice, according to that view. So why is it that in verses 4 through 5 that God favors Abel's sacrifice and not Cain's? And the fact is, we don't know. We are not told why God chooses one of the brothers over the other. In my own opinion, it has to do with the attitude with which Cain brought his sacrifice. It's so easy to simply go through the motions of serving God without your heart truly being in it, to give out of compulsion and not to give cheerfully. Regardless, we are not told the why, so let's not dwell on the why. Rather, let's focus on what we are told, and we are told of the fallout of this bestowal of favor on Abel and not on Cain. Cain and Abel, they go out into the field, they speak, and in the midst of their conversation, Cain rises up and kills Abel. A tragedy of epic proportions. And this brings us to what I believe the point of the story to be, because this is what the story tells us. There will be times in your life when you think that God should honor you. When you have given your all and you have done everything that is necessary, and yet God then chooses another. He chooses to honor someone else who's close to you and elevate them above you. In that moment, you're faced with a choice. You can let it lead you to lashing out at this one who was favored, and you can do so through violence or through words, through tearing them down. You can stab, or you can backstab, or you can try to pull down the one that God has lifted up. Or you can recognize that God has his reason for elevating the other. And as Cain is told in verse 7, if you do well, will you not also be accepted? It's not your position to elevate yourself, especially when that requires tearing down others. Instead, simply continue to do the things that are before you, and you will be accepted by God. And what more could anyone really ask for?